All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a Windows 10. So just go ahead and type in Windows 10 90-day trial in your favorite browser search engine. And again, you're going to be taken down to the website. Here's an ad, so we're not going to go to that. Here we got the Microsoft Winter 10 Microsoft Evaluation Center. Again, we can get a free 90-day trial. So there we go. So we click on that. And here it takes us to the website. Here it just tells us the information, the requirements, and about downloading. Again, we can get the hash file command so we can see if we got the right file. And then we can scroll up here. We have two choices. We have the enterprise version and the extended version. Again, you're going to fill in your name, phone number, and all that fun stuff in here. And then again, it's going to say here we're going to get the Windows 10 21 H2. I'm just going to save that. And then once you fill this out, you're going to hit download, and then it's going to download. And then once you have it done, I already done that. So right here, again, I'm just going to hit F2. There we go. And then copy. And then again, I'm going to paste it in my ISO folder. It just makes it easier, one central place. And then when you want to clean up your downloads folder, you're not worried about deleting these CDs because you want them for later. Makes life easier. And then again, we're going to go into our VirtualBox. Here you can see from the previous video, I have Fedora installed. And then I'm just going to go new. And then just type in Windows 10. I'm just going to minimize that. Here, because we typed in Windows 10, it's going to show us Microsoft. It's going to say Windows 10. It's going to say 64-bit because I chose a 64-bit and I have a 64-bit OS. So I'm going to hit next. Again, let's add some memory. I'm going to go 496 just because I want it to not take as long to install. And I'm going to hit next. And again, it's going to do 50 gigs. That's cool if you want it. Again, if option one is don't add a disk. So if we don't want to have a physical hard drive, then choose that. If you want one, then you can install it. Because again, Windows doesn't have a live window install, so you need to, use option two. And then option three would be, do I have an existing VM that I want to import? And the answer is no. So we're going to go with the defaults. And again, we're going to choose with the defaults of VDI. Again, dynamic or fixed. Dynamic's good because you can save up on space. So again, I'm going to say next. Again, I'm going to just add a 1 in front of mine because I just like more storage. And I'm going to hit create. And there we go. Then we're going to hit start. And because this is the first time in the pull down, I don't have the Windows. Again, I'm going to just click on the little folder. I only have the one CD from previous install, so I'm going to hit add. Select my Windows. And then click choose. And then hit start. And I'm just going to close that out. Just the message saying, hey, yes, I know you already grabbed my ISO. So there we go. We got the Windows loading. Again, I'm just going to close that out. All right. So here it's just, again, detected what language, keyboard. We're going to hit next. Again, I can hit repair if I had an issue, but there's no operating system here, so there's no sense of hitting repaired. And I'm just going to hit install. And then from here, I'm just going to click yes, I agree. I do recommend that you should scroll through and thumb through it, just so you know what you're agreeing to. And then you can hit next. Here, if we had an existing version of Windows, we would go with the upgrade path. This is a fresh install, so we're going to go custom. And then from here, it's going to say, here's our hard drive. Could we manually format it? Sure. We could manually partition this and all that. Or we can just say next. And there we go. Now we're just going to copy and do our installation process and all that. All right, so I'm going to fast forward through this. See you on the other side. All right, now that we finished, it's going to go ahead and hit restart. Again, there it's asking us because we didn't reject the CD, and that's okay. So some OSs will automatically boot if the CD is detected, like a lot of Linux. Windows will detect if there's an operating system, it won't boot out the CD, and then it'll just start booting in the Windows. So that is one part you don't have to worry about. Oh, I gotta shut it down and remove the CD. But after you have Windows set up, you do definitely want to go ahead and shut it down and take the CD out. Or at least swap it for the Windows add-on tools. All right, now we're finishing up our reboot. All right, now we get the just at the moment sign. All right, we should be getting close to getting where we're going to create our account in a moment or two. Okay, so now we're back to selecting our region. We're going to go ahead and say yes. And yes. And again, if we choose to want to add another keyboard, you can just click add and scroll through. All it does is just support for a secondary keyboard if you're going to choose one with a different language in it. That's it. How do we want our keyboard laid out? Again, US. And there we go. We're finishing up some additional stuff. All right, now at this spot here, we're going to do is, if you were building this for yourself, then you should go ahead and log in with a Microsoft account. In my particular case, because this is a VM and I'm not planning to use it as a long term because it's just a 90-day trial, I'm going to click join a domain instead. What this can allow you to do is make a local user account. So now I'm just making a local user account, hitting next. Again, you don't have to set up a password. Again, depending on how you're using this. Again, if this was like a laptop and I'm walking around with it, yes, I definitely would recommend a password. If I'm just running this as a virtual just to kind of play around with, and I'm just going to leave it blank and hit next. So what that's going to do is it's just going to automatically start up the machine with that account. Again, if I was using this for something more important and had important stuff on it, yes, I would definitely recommend using a password. Again, here's your different privacy settings. You can go through geolocation, setting diagnostic, tailor, ad experience, ad ID. If you want to make Microsoft rich and providing them more targeted ads on yourself, then sure, turn it on. Turn it off if you don't care. And again, here's the cool part about virtuals. You can always turn this stuff back on later. And if you're finding something you're not liking, again, it's only good for 90 days anyway. So, again, you could choose to turn stuff off. I don't have any other Microsoft devices, so I'm not going to bother to find my stuff. There's better stuff out there, like find my Google, find my Apple. If you're in one of those ecosystems, you're going to find all your devices. Again, this is a VM. It's not going to go nowhere. And again, it's a VM. I'm not going to add Cortana. Now, if I was using a regular PC, maybe I would. I don't know. I don't need enough things listening to me, so I'm just going to say, not now. And now it's creating our profile. So, Like an example in the book, when we talk about it, when we talk about the Hive, this is what it's creating. It's creating that Hive key for the profile for this user, Lou, who's logging in at this point. So, yes, this may take a few minutes. Again, you should never turn your PC off until you fully get an operating system. But the one thing is cool about virtuals, you can pause them and then, unpause it and come back to it. That will work. So if you're running out of time, you're like, oh, I got to go. Yeah, you can quick, machine and pause and go, and it'll save the state. And then when you come back, now I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're middle of downloading some files and stuff like that, because when you go back to reconnect, it's not gonna, continue where it left off. All right, there we go. So we have Windows installed. So one of the things I would recommend doing next is go to your device and remove your disk. But here's what I would do next is insert guest add-ons. This is just going to install additional driver updates for your Windows machine. And just go ahead and do that, and then just click on your File Explorer if the CD doesn't pop up automatically. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Again, depending on the variations and what build of Windows you have. And you're just going to go into Windows File Explorer. You're just going to click on this PC. Here we're going to see a CD-ROM. And here we go. We can just hit VirtualBox add-on for 64-bit OS. And there we go. So, and then I would recommend rebooting, but I would recommend shutting down so this way you can remove the CD. All right, so that's the basics in getting Windows going. And again, check out my later videos on how to do other things in here. All right, see you then.